Well, it's an ill wind that blows no good, and that could be appropriately applied to this racetrack. They broke ground in 1993 in the wake of Hurricane Andrew, and the result here tonight is a 1.5-mile oval that's seen 4 reconfigurations. Live tonight from the virtual Homestead Miami Speedway, it's race number 7 of the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series. We're in the playoffs, and we've narrowed it down to 8. Morgan Cook alongside Bradley Cooper here tonight. This 1.5-mile oval has progressive banking of about 20 degrees, and it's multi-groove racing from here on out in the season.
Yeah, this racetrack is one of the most exciting on the circuit. Had many champions crowned at this particular facility all throughout the 2000s and 2010s. Run right up against the wall, you can run right down against the bottom or in the middle. There's 5 lanes, just got to pick one.
With more than 1,000 palm trees planted here with a specific color scheme. Caribbean. This racetrack definitely was constructed with scenic, and you can see it here in mind on the walls, the very tropical theme all the way around this racetrack. And of course, 4 corners in this regular shaped oval put you in the mindset of the very classic Atlanta from the early 90s and all the way back to the 1950s. But here today, it's one of the few tracks that doesn't have a tri or quad oval. And for that, we thank you, because this racetrack has came down to the line out of turn 4. You can think back to Carl Edwards and Tony Stewart for the championship. Those 2 drivers beating and banging, working their way. It all came down to who won that race. And, Ford Weekend, Morgan, I mean, the history of this track in the short 28, 29 years that it's been around, it really has put on a lot of historic events.
Yeah, I mean, think about the 2010 and Denny Hamlin losing out on his best shot of the championship that year to Jimmy Johnson, getting his 5th in a row. Obviously, NASCAR history at that particular moment. To the Edwards and Stewart battle the very next season in 2011, and many, many other races here that have decided a champion.
Race analysis coming up on your screen here today. We have 80 laps, the stage break at lap 30. 3 green-white checkers, as it has been in the Truck Series all season long, and 3 tire sets available, so that will limit these drivers. We say multi-groove, but depending on what groove you choose at what time in this race could dictate how well those tires last. If you're running the bottom, you'll probably save a little fuel, but coming off a turn 4 on the high line will be a little faster. You'll probably burn the right rear off of it, so you're going to have to decide that. Look at the points here. With the reset, we've narrowed it down to 8. Bobby Hall Jr. on that cutoff line, and Barrett Morton just 3 points ahead of Lucas Lyons. Peyton Hubbard 18 back. Look at your list of names with Hubbard, Cunningham, McCullough Jr., Healy. Oh man, Mr. Pinocchio himself makes that top 8, and the league admin is going to be ready to go here as we get set to grid. So let's take you trackside and get ready to go. Down here with a 32.532, it's Peyton Hubbard in the 51. He will start on the pole next to Sean Kaser in the 24, who missed it by just 2/10 of a second. Starting in third is going to be Christopher McCullough with Alex Keeley. And starting in the 5th spot will be Kenneth McCullough Jr. Chad Ross will be in the 6th spot. Row number 4 belongs to Bobby Hall Jr. Daniel Cunningham in the 8th position. And rounding out your top 10 here tonight, Barrett Morton and Michael Robinson in the number 4.
Starting in 11th tonight, Eric Parks in that wood grain 73. Daniel Worthington, 113, will start beside him in 12th. 13th, Lucas Lyons in the 48. John Mollahan will start 14th in his 6 Chevy Silverado. 15th, John Kinder in the 82. 16th, Ronnie Shirk Jr. Good run last week for the number 7. 17th, Wes Wiegand in the 88. New look on that truck this week. David Sheets will start 18th. 19th, Michael Cole. 20th, Ron Morris Jr.
So we have 2 more trucks that have elected the grid. We still have some drivers that are yet to get out there, but 21st goes to Brian Kaiser, James Kaufman in 22nd position. And then you have the 10 of Jeremiah Hobbs, and the 24th spot will go to the 101 of Dakota Shepard. So possibility for 24 trucks. We have to wait and see who all grids out here on the racetrack. But here tonight on pit road, it is 24 trucks long according to this grid. and that Silverado pace truck is going to take him around for one lap. So Morgan, we talked about the history at this racetrack, but how historic is it going to be here for the inaugural season of the Overtake iRacing League across the Truck Series, the Xfinity, and the Cup? I mean, this could be another one of those races that really decide who makes it to those final four.
Yeah, this race won't necessarily decide the champion, but it may go a long way into who gets into that Charlotte race in a few weeks. You win here, I believe you go straight to that Charlotte race as one of the playoff drivers. Also, be a good points night. You know, you're going to have to run well, run consistently throughout these next two races if you're going to be able to have a shot at Charlotte.
And so it's going to be multi-groove racing from Homestead, Iowa, Texas, Iowa, notorious for being able to run the high line out of the exit of 3 and 4. Texas, of course, having that reconfiguration in 1 and 2. But here tonight for Homestead, the progressive banking, who's going to choose what line and will it be the correct one, as we have Peyton Hubbard here on the front row to tee it off. A little extra pace lap, it looks like, to maybe get Dakota Shepherd out there on the grid. So we will take an additional lap around this venue. I think this is a perfect opportunity, Morgan, to maybe pull a driver up here.
I'm right there with you.
So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and bring up the 7 here. I think Ronnie Shirk deserves to be up here pre-race. Ronnie Shirk, it's Bradley Cooper and Morgan Cook up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy? Ronnie Shirk, 7 truck. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
There he is. So we're getting set to go green here. You had a good showing there last week. You're starting in 16th. What's in store for us tonight at Homestead?
I can barely hear you right now, but the plan is to just run up high and stay clean this first stage, and then go for it at the end.
Well, it sounds like you might be having a little bit of microphone issues or maybe a little too much gain there. So good luck tonight, Ronnie, and we'll see you maybe post-race.
Thank you.
That's the 7 of Ronnie Shirk Jr. He's KPG driver in the number 7. But here we go with Peyton Hubbard, Sean Kaser on the front row, ready to go for 80 laps here tonight as the pace truck will pull out of the way. Morgan, I hope you're excited because I am stoked right now. Alex Healy in that second row on the outside. Christopher McCullough on the inside. Here we go for 80 laps. Green flag is out. We're live at Homestead. Coming off of turn 4, the 51 of Peyton Hubbard is going to lead lap number 1. Pulls out to about 0.2 of a second. The 04 of Christopher McCullough is already up 1 position. He made quick work on the inside of Alex Healy, and then he got clear of the 24. Up on the high line, out of turn 2, it looked like Healy might have lost another position. It looks like the 38 of Chad Ross is going to sneak in there for 4th spot.
Yeah, these restarts, the high line's probably not where you want to be. It takes a few laps to get the momentum wound up there. So the 97 is just trying to hang on at this moment, not lose any more spots.
You can see some of these guys trying to cross the draft and follow each other down these straightaways. They're plenty long enough to get a good run into the entry of the corner. But again, it goes back to what you said. There's last week's winner in the 03 trying to work his way past the 97, giving a little bump. So shades of Talladega on the back of the 38 as he pushes into 3 and 4. They're running a lot lower into the entry of 3, and I think that actually helping Alex Healy stay to the outside. Oh, touch with the wall there.
Just a little kiss to the outside wall for the 97, almost 3 wide. Chad Ross thought better of it.
Oh, they're peeking 3 wide here now into 3 and 4, or 1 and 2 rather. Healy on the middle, Ross on the bottom. And that's the 94 of Bobby Hall Jr. 3 wide down the backstretch.
precarious spot here for the 97. He's going to fall back in line behind the 38. Everything is all right for now.
They're still peaking 3 wide, though. Bobby Hall had the guts to take it there. He's going to get a 2 for 1. Now working on the back of Sean Kaser. He's going to try to peek his way into the top 3 here in 1 and 2. That's a decent run there. It doesn't work quite as well in 1 and 2 as it does in 3 and 4. So you'll see Bobby Hall fall back to Chad Ross for a moment. Sean Kaser goes up and blocks that line on the entry of 3. But a big run here. It seems like this track a little, oh man, a little loose there off of 4, but it looks like this racetrack is a little bit different lines on each end, and Bobby Hall's starting to find that out.
94-degree track temp's going to have these drivers fighting for grip all day. You can see it already. We got guys doing slide jobs and slipping, sliding all over this racetrack. The only driver really happy with their truck right now is probably your leader, Peyton Hubbard.
Now Peyton Hubbard takes over the lead right out the gate. He gets the good launch on the start. He's maintained about half a second, the 0-4 of Christopher McCullough. And trying to break the wake back here, Sean Kaser holding on to 3rd, takes the, oh, contact! And Healy's involved. Chad Ross turns the 24. James Kaufman slides into the access road. But here on lap number 7, it's a block gone wrong for Sean Kaser. You see right there, Ross got to the inside at the very end of that. But I'm curious, Sean took him all the way down to the apron of the track on the front stretch.
Here we see off of turn 3 and 4, and I mean, that's just not a move you make at lap 8. I don't really know what they're thinking this early in the race. A couple non-playoff drivers in the top 5 here, just, yeah, not really sure what happened. And obviously Healy got the worst of that, being the playoff driver involved, but everyone else pretty much gets through it unscathed. A little bit of contact further back, and 25 spins around, but yeah, that was just an unnecessary move at this point in the race.
Well, I think we have an opportunity. We tend to shy away from doing this, but I've had multiple requests to do this, so let's go ahead. We'll pull up the 38 of Chad Ross into the booth. Chad, little contact there on the front stretch. What was your idea there on that move, and did you intend to turn the 24?
No, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I lined up the inside coming off the corner, and then he starts running me all the way down there. I ain't putting up with it. So I didn't try to take him out, but I wasn't. I mean, he had the whole top of the track to use. He didn't need to be down in my lane.
So we started this race out. It looked like you guys were running some multi-groove racing, trying to get around each other, the slide jobs. You know, probably later in this race, it'll come to who can run that high line the best. How much damage did you pick up from that?
I mean, I got a 4X. I'm not picking to find out, so hopefully she's all right.
Well, Chad, good luck out there tonight. I know we got plenty of racing left to do. We have that stage break here. We're just 10 laps in. Good luck, man.
Thanks, man.
I'm trying to put him back in the proper place. I think I got him back in the proper place. No, it's team 3. Whoops. So let's go ahead and fix that. There we go. There, we got him in the right place now, but that's Chad Ross in the number 38. I mean, a little heated here early in this race, and you know that some of these guys probably still in the mindset that they have a red spoiler, but unfortunately that contact involved Alex Healy there, and so he's going to be kind of outside looking in for the rest of this race. He's going to be playing catch-up.
Yeah, pretty big damage to the right side of the 97 where he got pinched up into the wall. That's going to hurt that front suspension, I would imagine, at the very least. And I think now he's just trying to get points and just hopefully minimize the damage that has happened already so early in this race.
We're already starting to double back up. Healy still on pit road. He's been on there for about 2.5 minutes. He'll come back out on the racetrack. You can see the left front on that machine is a little bit beat up, and that's definitely from the pinch on the wall. So he's going to have a heck of a time. He's going to have to pray for a caution if he can make it to lap 30. Maybe get some more of that repaired for the Flex Motorsports 97. But here's Peyton Hubbard, Christopher McCullough, Chad Ross, Barrett Morton, and Bobby Hall Jr., the top 5. There's Daniel Cunningham, who really turned it up as of late. Had a great showing in the first reset, the first round of the playoffs. Let's see if he can have a good second round. Pace truck out of the way, almost bounces off of the inside pit wall as it cuts down. Green flag is out, back green for the second time.
Good launch by the 51 in the zone. Gonna get 2 truck lengths as they head into turn 1.
And holding on there, it looks like just on the inside, you have Bobby Hall trying to work with the 08. This is for the 5th spot. Then the 9 of Barrett Morton. He's also in this mix now. How about that? The 9 works his way into the top 3 early in this race. Lucas Lyons, who started all the way back in the 13th positions up to 7th now. Some of these guys are sensing urgency for this stage.
Almost halfway through it, and I got to witness Lucas win a race here last night, also in the truck in the fixed setup in the original Rebels Racing League, so he knows how to get it done here. He was very aggressive in that race last night. He's already up 6 spots tonight, and he's not going to stop here.
Side by side back here for the 5th spot is still happening. The 08 now on the flip side of it as they come out of 3 and 4. Bobby Hall a little bit stronger on that high line exiting, so they'll stay door to door. Diving into turn 1, looks like the 5th position might change hands with the slide job, but the 94 hangs it out there. Going to be really close here on the turn 2 exit. He's going to hold it to the door again. And so it's so frustrating here at Homestead because of the multi-groove racing. The bottom and the top are about just as equal to each other out of the exits in these corners. And so if you're trying to overtake a guy, you know you're faster on any particular line, and you have to change that line to get around him. It gets really, you can get impatient here at Homestead.
This might be the corner that the 94 needs. He's going to get that run. He might even get Barrett Morton here down the backstretch. Lucas Lyons,
yeah, he will get to the outside. A little help there from Lucas Lyons down the back straightaway. Chad Ross, who we thought might have picked up some damage there. We got a challenge for the lead. 04 of Christopher McCullough is to the outside of Peyton Hubbard. For the first time today, we're seeing a challenge for first.
Off the corner. Gonna have to give the edge to the 04 on the top side.
That's a good run there out of 2.
Caution is out.
Let's see if he can. Oh, yellow flag for James Kaufman. Down the back straightaway. Alex Healy gets bailed out a little bit here. He is 2 laps down. But that might get one of those laps back. Hopefully he wasn't involved. Man, where did that start there? Somebody got into the back of the 25.
Yeah, that was the 88 of Wiegand. Just 25 kind of came up the track a little bit. 88, I don't think expected to come up that far, and around goes Kaufman.
They back that up and watch it from the blimp camera here. It looked like Wiegand probably could have came out of the exit a little bit higher, and that maybe what Kaufman was predicting. There was probably a half a truck lane there that the 88 could have came out of too. Very close racing. I mean, we've seen it already there on lap 7 with the 38 and the 24. Some guys have a different idea of how they're going to come out of these corners or how they're going to run these lines, and it doesn't always mesh well. Everybody has a different idea of how to get around Homestead. And with multi-groove racing thrown into that mix, you might feel like you're faster here, faster there, but ultimately it comes down to not getting into each other, because this damage on this truck can end your day.
Yeah, easy to to meet at the exit of the corner when you're running 5 different lines in the center. They all converge to the same spot, and that's all that happened there with the 25 and 88. I don't think there's any ill will on either driver's part, just 2 trucks trying to go for the same spot.
So officially taking over the lead after all of this. And for some reason, James Kaufman's being scored up on the top of the pylon. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with my timing and scoring, but it will be the 0-4 of Christopher McCullough that will have the point over Peyton Hubbard. "17 laps in, we're past the halfway mark for the stage caution. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League live on V-Speed. We're going to take a short, brief break here just to get things re-racked. Let me give an opportunity to get my voice back. We'll be back live right after this.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Milo gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Swack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live from Homestead Miami Speedway. Our second caution of the day. James Kaufman and Wes Wiegand meet up on the backstretch coming out of turn 2. We're set back double file to get back live. We've had 2 cautions here today. And just 1 lead change after Christopher McCullough took it away from your pole sitter, Peyton Hubbard in the 51. Had a couple guys come down pit road. We're on different strategies here. But 3 tire sets, I mean, you got to plan this accordingly. We haven't even made it to the first stage of this race yet, Morgan.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be taking a set quite at this point in time. That's going to hurt you. See, wait till lap 30, then we'll talk.
Race truck out of the way. Back live in racing into that restart zone. The 04 is going to lead him into turn 1 as the command truck. And he'll jump up in front of the 51 and try to arch this corner perfectly. 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, Lucas Lyons forced a 3 wide on Chad Ross. And I don't imagine that's going to make the 38 any happier than he already was.
All the way down on the bottom for the 48 truck. He's going to take it 3 wide again into the entry of 3. The 94 of Bobby Hall, no stranger to being 3 wide as well. He'll keep it up there on the high line, but washes up the racetrack a little bit here. Creates another situation with Barrett Morton and the 48 almost clear of Ross. Here comes the 94 to push him down the backstretch. 3 wide again. How about Lucas Lyons? I mean, he almost has it cleared here with the 38 of Ross as they come out of turn 2. They're going to be door to door. The 94 of Bobby Hall can't decide who he wants to go with because they're pretty much equal here on both lines. 38's going to pinch the 48 down into the entry of 3. That'll be enough to hold him off.
Oh, 76. Just about.
Oh, sideways.
Around. Save on his part.
And wiggling big time out of turn 4. He lost about 3 or 4 positions at the least. He'll fall back to 14th. He'll be alongside Daniel Worthington coming out of turn 2. That's Ron Morris Jr. trying to hold on to it right now. How about this? A guy that we haven't talked too much about, but really turned it up. We talked a lot about him throughout the season. The 08 of Daniel Cunningham is now inside for the top 5, trying to get around Bobby Hall. He has the 9 of Morton, who's seen the top 3 briefly there at the start of this thing. But it looks like this racetrack, Morgan, it's oh man, almost some contact there off of 2, but it looks like this racetrack's almost already on the outside line.
Yeah, it seems to be top dominant unless you get the wall like Lucas Lyons just did into the corner. But top 3 running the bottom. Slightly different offset lines on the bottom, but farther back they run the top side here. It's an interesting mix what these drivers are doing here tonight.
On the outside for 3rd position, Lucas Lyons going to take it to the outside here in 1 and 2. Should be set up for a decent run here out of the exit of the corner. Just in front of him, Peyton Hubbard peeked to the inside of Christopher McCullough, but no dice there on that exit. The 48 does get the speed. He'll be on the outside of Peyton Hubbard here for 2nd here momentarily.
He cleared the 38, so 3rd place is his, although not a great run out of turn 4. Ooh, self-clear by the 94 across the nose of Cunningham. That was close.
So Cunningham going to dive it down to the inside in 1 and 2. Barrett Morton just back in the middle groove there, watching these two battle it out for the 5th spot yet again. So you'll see a lot of this, but I think it's going to simmer down after we get past this first stage as we come across the line for stage number 1, 5 laps to go before those points are awarded to the top 10. A change for the 10th position, Ronnie Shirk to the outside of Eric Parks. As they go into turn 1, he'll have the advantage on that high line.
Good run through the center. 73 is a little bit loose as he drives over the seam. Give the advantage to the 7.
So a great clear there. Of course, not a red spoiler on that 7 machine. And, you know, when you take your top 8, payday is only going to happen for 8 drivers. And now there's a good chance you're going to mix some of these guys that aren't in the playoff contention up into this top 10. As you can see there with the 38 of Chad Ross still trying to go to work on your 3rd place driver, Lucas Lyons. He'll dive all the way down to the inside through 1 and 2. Doesn't quite have the entry speed to match the 48 up on that high line. But your leaders are going back at it again. Peyton Hubbard to the bottom out of 3 and 4.
Might be able to get the spot here. Oh, that's close, but give it to McCullough at the line.
So now 3 laps to go. The battle for the stage win is on. Peyton Hubbard, who started on the pole, led the first probably 10 laps of this race roughly. He gets clear of the 04, back on the crossover, 04 into 3. And this opens up the door for the 48.
Oh, big loose for the 04.
All the way on the bottom for Lucas Lyons. 04 of Christopher McCullough pulls a slide job. 2 laps to go now for the lead.
51 and 48 both guessed wrong. They wanted to go where the 04 wasn't. They all drove right in his tire tracks.
Big run here out of the corner, though, for Hubbard. He's going to push the 04 McCullough all the way into the entry of 3. Lyons thought maybe that would upset both their trucks. Lyons is going to get loose here in the entry of 4. He'll slide back to Chad Ross on the outside. White flag in the air. It looks like maybe Christopher McCullough has this locked up because these guys are racing really hard behind him. 51 of Peyton Hubbard ends up losing a spot. And there it is across the line. Frozen on your top 10. It's McCullough, Lyons, Hubbard, Ross, Hall, and Cunningham for the Morton, Mullahan, McCullough, and Shirk. So of those drivers, only 7 of them, or 6 of them rather, are playoff contenders here tonight.
Obviously, Healy not one of those, having a Not great day, finding himself back 23rd, 1 lap down. This should get him his lap back. He's the only driver in the top, only playoff driver to not score stage points, if I'm not mistaken.
So he will get that lucky dog position. That'll put him back on the lead lap, but at what cost? That machine very tore up. But the 04 capitalizes here. He will lead them down pit road on lap 31. Looks like the 94 of Bobby Hall is going to stay out as well. So here we come down to the pit road with all these drivers outside of just a handful. Looks like Brian Kaiser is going to stay out possibly, or is that the 82? I can't quite tell, but all the shuffling around here. Michael Cole is going to stay out, but here's Peyton Hubbard, your pole sitter, getting 4 tires. These guys are definitely going to take 4 tires, without a doubt.
Yeah, this is one of the most abrasive racetracks on the circuit. 04 gets out first. Lyons with a great stop will come out right behind him.
And Peyton Hubbard lost another position here on pit road. He'll fall behind, excuse me, he'll fall behind Chad Ross. He'll go all the way back to the 6th position. But there it is for stage number 1. 04 of Christopher McCullough is going to get the victory on that. He'll get those stage points, those oh so important stage points. We're going to step away again here on V-Speed and take another quick commercial break. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series. We'll be back right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37. Oh! The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live from Homestead, Miami. And the 04 of Christopher McCullough maintains the lead here. Lucas Lyons picks up a spot on pit road. Chad Ross up to 3rd. Peyton Hubbard in 4th spot. Those drivers that had stayed out decided to come back down pit road. You had Michael Cole and I believe the 94 of Bobby Hall that stayed out to lead a lap. But they have since came down pit road. They'll be back 17th and 18th position. So here we go for the second stage. Playoff race number 7 about to get back underway. Stage number 2 from Homestead into the restart zone. Christopher McCullough on the loud pedal, and Lucas Lyons on the outside into turn 1. Well, if you were already having a problem this season, that stage could have just set it up for the next 3. Christopher McCullough had a rough regular season. If it wasn't a super speedway, it was tough to see the 04 get a good finish. And even at those tracks, he led laps, he won stages, but didn't get the finishes that he maybe felt he deserved. But here tonight at Homestead, he's putting on a pretty good performance, Morgan.
Yeah, 20 laps led for the 04 and done it on raw pace. He went up there and took that lead. He didn't get it on strategy or anything like that. Just really fast car this 04 has tonight.
Lucas Lyons trying to keep those playoff contingencies alive for the final 4. Of course, he had a contingency or a berth there possibly in the Xfinity Series, but this is the only league that, or of the series in this league, that he is in the top 8. He has to capitalize. He's sitting in the 2nd position. Chad Ross back there. John Mullahan works his way up into the top 5 outside of Daniel Cunningham.
First time we've said Mullahan's name tonight. Currently running in the 5th spot, just slowly working his way through the field, up 9 spots from his 14th place starting position.
So the 2nd biggest mover up to 5th. Biggest mover of the race is the 48. Currently in 2nd spot as they start to single file out a little bit here on the bottom of the racetrack. Kind of weird. It's like everybody wanted to run the top there in that first stage, but now everybody's diving to the bottom.
Bottom's a lot more forgiving than the top side is. You can see Lyons, if he slips even a little bit, he is pancaked the right side of that truck. Whereas the 04, who's running the bottom, he makes a mistake, he just gets to wash up the track into the middle and then drive away from it. Right here, you make a mistake, you move up maybe half a lane, and everything's okay.
Of course, this can be compared to Kansas Speedway, where you're wall riding there later in the run. A little bit of battling going on back here with the 113 and the 7 of Ronnie Shirk. Daniel Worthington, actually that's the 1 of David Sheets on the outside, so Shirk's already ahead, but this is for the 10th position. There's the 76 of Ron Morris Jr., who got loose a little bit earlier in this race, just behind this battle as well. Eric Parks going to go to the inside of Sheets now into 1.
You can see the lower line gets a really good run in the center of the corner, but the 1 should gain most of that back off of the exit. And that is just the cat and mouse game of Homestead Miami.
It'll go back and forth all day long, but just past the halfway point, coming out of turn 4, across the line to lead another one, the 04 of Christopher McCullough. When we pass that halfway point here on B-Speed, it's an excellent opportunity to find that volume button on that smart device or the remote control and turn it up. We're going to make it loud here for a little bit. Let's bring some noise here on B-Speed. A couple of laps there bringing the noise, but I saw a little challenge for the lead there, Morgan, on lap 42. Looked like Lucas Lyons had a good run there off of turn 2, but wasn't able to complete the pass at 3 and 4.
I think partly that was set up by we're catching lap traffic. Very, very little of it. We just saw Alex Healy get past and put a lap down, and not too far in front of these leaders is the 25 of James Kaufman.
And there's some side-by-side back here between the 03 and the 08 for the 6th position. Coming off of turn 4, looked like Daniel Cunningham was able to get a good run here, but not able to maintain a top 5 for the 08 today. He's a little bit off the pace here from what we saw prior to these races.
Good run off the top side there. He is going to retain the 6th position. Side by side for 4th, Hubbard and Mullahan.
Your pole sitter struggling a little bit. Mullahan very loose there off the entry of 4 into the exit of 4. Slides around, loses a lot of ground. He'll fall back to 5th by about a 10th or 2. Chad Ross, who we talked to a little bit there, he was a little heated for the moment, but he's got speed. Obviously the 38's very fast here at Homestead. He's maintained the top 3 for a lot of this day. Can he get up there and challenge the lead?
Well, he's doing a really nice job of staying in touch with the leaders as we work through the lap traffic. Lyons obviously is pressuring McCullough, but Chad Ross is just kind of waiting, hanging back there. Just a lot like the 51 of Hubbard, is just keeping tabs on the leaders, keeping in touch.
As long as you can keep yourself within a second, you have a good shot here. 46 laps will be completed when they cross the line this time around. Outside the top 10, side by side with Eric Parks, Barrett Morton, who was up here in the top 5 at one point in this race. He's outside the top 10 and 13th, trying to get back up there.
I think the 9 was saving his stuff a little bit, just being patient. Don't burn up the tires. This track is so easy to do that, and it'll pay rewards later in the run.
Morgan, we talked about all the red spoilers out here on the racetrack. These guys are the deepest of those red spoilers, with the exception of Alex Healy, who got caught up in an incident early in this race. Of course, Healy started in the 4th position, not the race that he was expecting to have here today. Probably put in a lot of time. He'll be scored as a lap down. He needs a caution to get this truck repaired and salvage the day. That left front still has not gotten repaired, but there's the 94 on your screen. Well, just a second ago was on your screen. He's in 15th. A lot of these guys that were top 8 in the points, they're outside the top 10 right now. They need to get going here, because there's not a lot of racing left.
A big moment for the 73 as he was sideways in the wall, able to keep a point in the right direction. But that was right in front of playoff driver Bobby Hall Jr. Not what the 94 wants to see at all. And oh, there goes Kaufman.
Oh, Kaufman, he's really loose off of 4. He was almost 3 wide there when it started. He'll get it saved. And it looks like Lucas Lyons is under fire here coming out of 2.
Hobbs just came down pit road. I think we're getting close to the point of making it to the end on fuel. I think Hobbs just short pit the field, trying to make something happen.
.31 laps to go when they cross the stripe. They're right on the line here of coming down pit road. If you wanted to split this run in half, this is probably the opportunity to do so, as they'll have about 18, 19 laps here. Probably another 10, and they're going to come down all at once. We knew it was going to be multi-groove here, Morgan, but what I'm kind of shocked that the inside is as fast as it is. They're able to get a good run here off the exits, and that hasn't been the case here at Homestead for a while.
Yeah, a lot like the race last night. Just you're able to run the bottom, run the top. You can do slide jobs on people, get great runs off the corner. This is one of the best multi-groove racetracks that iRacing has to offer, and I'm not one bit surprised that the bottom is as good as it is. It's a lot easier on the tires and a lot more forgiving, like I was saying earlier. It's a lot harder to hit the wall from way down on the bottom.
Of course, Chad Ross has worked his way up to 2nd. He got around Lucas Lyons, who's starting to struggle a little bit. Peyton Hubbard, your pole sitter, gets around him for 3rd. Cunningham's starting to rebound a little bit here. Starting to pull back up to Mullahan. But 5th spot was locked up. There's a block.
Big block.
Are we going to see another one?
Oh, careful, boys. But that was an absolutely unnecessary block down the backstretch. With still 30 laps to go, and that 6 car is loose right now.
I mean, every position up for grabs right now. If you're Mullahan, you're probably fighting just to maintain, mitigate the damage. That top 5 probably feels really important, but this thing really loose, and now the 0-3 of Kenneth McCullough has to dodge him. 6 truck loses 2 positions within a lap.
Now let's watch this thing be borderline undrivable into the corner. Look how far to the right that orange circle or that orange ring is. This thing is all over the place.
Very sideways off of 4. He has another truck right behind him. That's John Kinder for 8th.
And the higher up you go, the worse that loose condition's going to get. You just see the 6 is struggling right now, backing up to the field.
He's almost 3 wide here with the 82 in the middle, almost riding the wall off the exit of 3 into 4. He's able to hold on to it for a little bit longer, but that truck is struggling. Meanwhile, up towards the front, Chad Ross has the 51 of Peyton Hubbard peeking to the inside. Good run here off the exit of 2. Looks like a change for second.
Yeah, big power move clear for the 51. See if Ross can do anything with him here in 3 and 4. They run the same line. Both go to the bottom. Huge center of the corner, though, from the 38.
So the 38 seemed faster on the short run. This might be the point in the race where the 38 wants to come down pit road. Maybe short pit the 04 and the 51 a little bit. The fall off on lap times here is about 1.5 seconds.
A few drivers on pit road. Ronnie Shirk, Daniel Worthington, David Sheets, another driver as well who I cannot tell who it is. All on pit road right now. Worthington's the other driver.
John Kinder looks like in the 82. He's came down as well. Healy is probably done for the day here. He's trying to get all this damage repaired. He's been on pit road for about 2.5 minutes now.
Hubbard, McCullough Jr., Mullahan on pit road. I think our leader's coming this time. I had to take a guess. I would say he is.
So 04 down pit road here on lap 57.
Oh,
sideways for the 48.
Caught that barrel pretty good. That's going to hurt the right rear of that truck. That's where all the downforce, side force comes from. So see how that 48 handles. Morton also on pit road. So's the 24 and Wes Wiegand.
Chad Ross stays out for an additional lap. Daniel Cunningham out there as well. In the 08, Michael Robinson, Bobby Hall Jr., and Michael Cole. Now as they come down pit road here.
Robinson will take over the lead.
The opportunity here for some of these guys to lead a lap, I mean, that's one aspect of it, but they are competing, Morgan, for the highest finisher, points-wise, if you're outside of that top 8 tonight.
Yeah, definitely still things to race for if you don't have the red spoiler. As we're seeing just how much tires matter. 03 sticks it to the bottom, drives by 2 cars. 94 to pit road. Bobby Hall Jr.
But Michael Robinson will stay out. An additional lap, stretch this out to 29 now on the stint.
Important to note in this cycle, Hubbard has cycled out in front of the 04 of McCullough. So battle for the lead potentially when Robinson, Cole, and Hall cycle through.
We're talking about a 1 lap difference in tires as well, Morgan. Will that be advantageous enough in the 04? He showed that he was faster overall, but the 51 with a little bit of a gap here, he can afford to play a little bit of conservative on the tires and maybe play a little defense here.
Yeah, the 04 is going to have to drive hard. He wants to catch up to the 51. See, that is the gap. There it is on your screen, just under 0.6 of a second and growing at the moment.
So maintaining that gap there for the 51. Michael Robinson still out on the racetrack. He's going to get a couple more laps led. But unfortunately for the 4, he's probably not going to be in this top 10. For the longer he stays out, the more that these guys are going to pass him and put him deeper in this field. As you see the 73, who's currently P12, and there's the 24, Sean Kaser, 13th spot. Robinson's going to lose more and more positions, and when you come down pit road, you're going to lose a lap on these guys. He'll probably fall back to about the 15th spot after these pit stops.
I think I just saw the 76 get loose again out of turn number 4. Keeps it pointed the right direction, but Robinson right now, he's praying for a caution. That's the only thing that saves him. Cycles everyone out back to basically even. He would have the freshest tires of the lead lap cars, which would be 14 strong.
As for position, John Kinder has 2 trucks trying to get around him. Chad Ross now down to the bottom. Almost 3 wide here. Lucas Lyons with that little bit of damage might be suffering a little bit. You see that right rear is a little dinged up. We're riding on board with John Kinder, watching this battle into 3. Ain't quite decided. Lyons struggling for the top 5. 0.8 of Daniel Cunningham, who stayed out longer than both these trucks in front of him, trying to figure out a way around him.
Lyons is really loose topside. You can see him sawing on the wheel as we got a
3 wide?
3 wide move. I think so.
Cunningham, tired of sitting behind these guys, wants to get up there and maybe battle for the top 3. He's not going to get a very good run here on this 0-3, though, of Kenneth McCullough Jr., but it looks like the 48, like you said, that side force is almost gone. That might be why that truck is getting so loose through the entry and exits of these corners.
Robinson has hit pit road. Should hand the lead over shortly to Peyton Hubbard.
So Hubbard has actually lost a lot of ground here to the 0-4 of Christopher McCullough. Will he even lead a lap here? That's the question that we need to ask, because Michael Robinson is technically ahead of them still as they just now make the pass around him. Will Hubbard actually get the lead back? The 0-4 on the outside here through 1 and 2. Doesn't look like he's going to get as good of a run as we predicted, but he will have a decent one on the approach to 3. Blocked to the bottom of the track. Almost some contact into 3. Onto the apron. Door banging here with the 51 and the 0-4 out of 4.
Oh, they sure are door banging. 51 pinched him down really tight in the corner. Surprised they both made it out of turn 4 unscathed.
The 51 did not lead. He did not officially take the lead. Christopher McCullough came by the stripe just ahead of him, but fighting back on the inside out of 2. Almost contact again. He's going to fight again.
Side by side into 3. They touch again on the entry.
That's a close one there. 51 going to come off the bottom. He has the advantage now. He played the same move that Christopher McCullough pulled on him. He'll lead this time by. 23 to go as they cross the stripe. These guys using it up.
04 buried it into turn 1. I don't know if it's going to have enough. Can't quite clear the 51 over the 4.
That was a good run out of the corner. And Chris is trying again. But it looks like the bottom at 3 and 4 is a little bit better for Peyton Hubbard.
Still just can't quite clear. He's about half a foot short.
Something's got to give here, Morgan. These guys have already door banged. They've already raced each other pretty hard. What point in these lap counts do these start to pinch? Because we're sitting at just over 10 laps to go here.
I think if you're the 51, you got to be as aggressive as you possibly can be to keep yourself at least beside the 04. Once he clears, it's probably over for you. If you're the 04, you got a little bit more time, a little bit better tire, a little bit faster truck. This 51, I think, is going to clear. He will. Crossover.
All the way down. Oh, man. 04 almost got into him again. We almost saw a repeat of earlier. They might touch again here through 3 and 4.
Hubbard might just clear down the front stretch. He will clear down the front stretch.
So just enough here. Will Christopher McCullough go into the reserve tank? Try to dig something out here for these last 10 laps.
Get a good run off the corner there. Going to close it down to within 3/10 as they enter turn number 3. Porter second now. Really got a good entry into the corner.
Looks like McCullough might have used the truck up trying to defend against the 51 of Hubbard. And in the background there, you have the 67 of Michael Cole politely letting these guys race it out. I'm kind of surprised. Daniel Cunningham has shaved a little bit off of this lead, but I don't think he's shaved enough off. He's still about 3 seconds away from these guys. And now that they've single filed back out, he's starting to lose. But I mean, kudos to Daniel Cunningham. He gained 5 spots. He did a lot of it just by strategy here as he stayed out an additional 2 laps. But third place still very much up for grabs. You have Chad Ross in the 38. He's still nipping on the heels of this 08. We can still see a change for position here in this top 3. It looks like Peyton Hubbard is starting to pull away, though, and run away with it.
About to have a 3-wide moment here for 6th. Lions on the top, still just fighting that poor handling truck at the 82 of John Kinder. Morton's right there, and Mullahan's not too far behind. It's a good battle here. Back half of the top 10.
And just inside the top 10, Ronnie Shirk is getting, I mean, he's just getting antagonized. These guys have not let up on him. He's held on to it, but 3 wide down the front stretch, and then you have the 25 of James Kaufman 2 laps down in front of it.
Oh,
73 in the wall.
7's in the wall.
94 of Bobby Hall is going to clear. Sort this out, Morgan. Where do you go?
Split the middle. Here we go. 24. Going to drive it deep into the corner. Not quite going to get to the door of the 94, I don't believe. He will not. Slide in behind him and still going to gain a couple spots. Kaiser. Wall contact for Worthington a little further back. Fighting with Wes Wiegand, a couple drivers we haven't talked about much. 14th, 15th. Big wall contact right there.
While we're talking about that, Barrett Morton did get around Lucas Lyons up to 6th spot. Chad Ross still hanging on to the back of Daniel Cunningham. 5 to go now as they cross the stripe.
Hubbard's opened it up to 0.6 of a second. Cunningham is down to 2.7 seconds. 2.9 now. As the 51 got a good run out of the corner, but I don't see these 3rd and 4th place drivers getting up there on pace. Maybe something causes the field to bunch up. We'll see about that.
We can see the line starting to change back to the bottom of this racetrack. It was up on the high line, then it was the middle, then it was the bottom. It's kind of worked back and forth, but the 51 hugging that white line all the way around 1 and 2. He's starting to pull this lead out. There's a battle right here on your screen. Well, we were watching the 82 of John Kender and the 6 of John Mullahan. Really, from 8th place on back, it's still very much up to grabs. Less than a second separating these drivers.
You can see all the trucks in view from the back of this very loose Lucas Lyons machine. what's that, 6 of them in the frame, all fighting for position.
82 going to dive it to the inside. 3 laps to go. Chad Ross going to work on Daniel Cunningham for third. 2 laps left now, as you'll see these drivers come out of turn 4. The battle for the lead has stretched out to over 1 full second, and then it's an additional second back here to Cunningham and Chad Ross. This is the closest for the podium here.
And at this point in time, if you're the 38, you're just trying to guess where the 8 goes. 08's going to go and pick a different line. If you guess wrong, it's going to cost you the corner. Big run down
he
the
got
back.
a good run here out of 2. He's going to dive it to the inside. I just don't think the 38's as strong on the bottom of the racetrack. Oh, he's pretty strong there, but not quite enough. Cunningham's going to hold on to it. White flag in the air. Peyton Hubbard, 1.3 seconds ahead. An additional second ahead of this battle. But here he comes off of turn 2. Looked like he was struggling a little bit there mid-race. Christopher McCullough had taken over the point, but Peyton Hubbard, for his 26, about to be 27 laps led in playoff race number 7. He'll come off of turn 4, and he will be victorious here tonight at Homestead. Side by side for third, Chad Ross came off of turn 4. Just barely short of that, right at the door of Daniel Cunningham, who will get third. Of course, Christopher McCullough brings it home in second. And what a victory here. Peyton Hubbard adding another one to the win column.
Be a big boost for him as we go to Iowa and Texas. Won't have to worry as much about those 2 racetracks and put all his eggs in the Charlotte basket.
So locking himself into the final 4. The 51 truck gets his 3rd win of the season. And after tonight, he might just be second in points. Post-race interviews with your top 3. You're watching the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series live on V-Speed. More coverage will continue right after this.
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37. Oh! The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Slack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back live from Homestead Miami Speedway, the Overtake iRacing League Truck Series has concluded its 80-lap race in playoff race number 7. The top 8 in points, well, some of them didn't have a very good day, but the one guy that did, he won this race, and another driver that did well today finished second. He won the stage. Peyton Hubbard getting the victory. Christopher McCullough capitalizing on the points. These two very tight coming after tonight. Daniel Cunningham is going to get third after turning up the heat there late in the race. He'll get a podium finish. Chad Ross in the 38, who had problems there on the very first 5 laps of this event, he'll finish in fourth. Barrett Morton in the 5th spot. Kenneth McCullough Jr. in 6th. Lucas Lyons 7th. John Kinder, name I'm not quite familiar with just yet, but I would say probably one of the best finishes he's had here since he's been in this league. Will come home 8th. Bobby Hall Jr. 9th. And Sean Kaser in the 24 will round out your top 10.
Remember, the 24 was backed into the outside wall early in this race, so great rebound for him. John Mullahan's going to come home in the 11th position in that 6th truck. Parks in the wood grain 73 will finish 12th. Ronnie Shirk Jr. is going to finish 13th. Wes Megan, good rebound to 14th. Worthington down 3 will finish 15th in his 113 truck. Morris Jr. will finish 16th. Sheets at 17th. Robinson, Cole, and Hobbs round out your top 20.
Few more trucks left out here on the track, and we have Brian Kaiser, James Kaufman, your top 7 or top 8 in points. Alex Healy, he will come home 23rd, so not a good first race in the round of 8 or the 97. And Dakota Shepard, who elected not to grid here today, will round out your field. So it was a great race. We had 3 cautions and 9 lead changes here today. The lead was fought between only 2 drivers, though, if you want to take the exception of during green flag pit stops, a few different cars did lead some laps here tonight, but it was mainly Peyton Hubbard and Christopher McCullough that went toe-to-toe, and all the way up to about 10 laps left, this race was undecided. We have the 08 of Daniel Cunningham here in the broadcast booth as we pull him up here. Sorry, I was a little scrolled down here for this these results, but here he is, Daniel Cunningham in the 08. Man, I tell you what, it seemed like you were a little off pace here tonight, Daniel, but you're still able to get a podium finish. You salvaged the day, gained 5 spots. How does it feel to come home just to know you kept this thing intact?
Yeah, third place is probably about the best I could have hoped for tonight. I hate the trucks at Homestead. I hate Homestead in general. It's just not one of my favorite tracks on iRacing, but I shouldn't say I hate it. I dislike it. I'll put it that way. But yeah, it's just not one of my better tracks, not one of my favorite tracks. Just one of those, let's get through this thing and get to the next one. So yeah, third place was a solid result. Just tried to stay smart all night, try to keep the truck clean, use the top when I could, and try to keep her off the wall whenever I got up there. So worked out pretty well.
Yeah, the multi-groove racing was pretty prevalent here throughout. Was there any particular line that you felt you maybe learned later in the race, or the track came to you as it went on to maybe get this truck up here to third?
I think what really surprised me the most was just how much different 1 and 2 raced than 3 and 4. Like 1 and 2, I kind of struggled with all night. Um, Kind of found something on the top side to at least be able to keep pace in 3 and 4 near the end. Still wasn't very fast. I mean, I almost gave up third place there at the end, but 3 and 4 was like, I mean, it was wide open. You could run the top, you could run the bottom, anywhere in between. I I'll be honest, I wasn't 100% sure that that going in on the bottom on the 38 on the last lap was going to stick. I was kind of surprised that I got the drive off that I did, but it just kind of goes to show just how racy the track was, especially over on that side.
Yeah, it was fun to watch from our perspective. You guys duking it out there for the top 3, and really you all the way up from about the 9th, 10th position when you started this race. You were battling with quite a few people. I believe Lucas Lyons was in that list. Barrett Morton, Chad Ross. You worked your way up through there uh, meticulously. You had to be careful, and then of course the green flag pit stops kind of put the exclamation point at the end of that.
Yeah, definitely. It was. I mean, it's even though I say I don't like the place earlier. I mean, it was fun. It's gotten better with the updates and stuff that iRacing has done since the last time I ran here. That it is a little bit more racy. You can move around more. So But yeah, I definitely kind of felt that tonight because it seemed like every run it was somebody different. It wasn't even like I was, fighting the same people all night long. You listed off a lot of them. I know the six truck, the O3, those were a couple other ones that I raced with a few times tonight, and so yeah, it definitely helps. And I mean, being a little bit shorter race than what I thought it was. Actually, I thought it was 100 laps tonight because too dumb to go look at the schedule before I loaded in. So I thought it was a little bit longer race tonight, and I think having that shorter race and the shorter runs was probably a little bit better because it let us just kind of race a little bit more and not worry so much about tire saving or anything like that.
Well, Daniel, while we have you up here, you've really turned it on here in the postseason. You had a great first round, and here to start the second round, you are additional. Well, actually, I would say the third round. Technically, this is the third round, starting it out. Um, Anybody you'd like to thank for this performance?
Yeah, appreciate y'all doing the broadcast over V Speed as always. All my teammates over at Bandits C2 Motorsports. Congrats to my teammate Peyton for locking one of us in. We still got 3 more to try to get and see if we can lock out that championship race. Thanks as always to Ghost Energy and SM Race Products. If you're looking for button boxes or anything sim racing related, go check them out. Use code Bandits1 when you go to check out and get yourself a little discount when you get over there.
There he is, Daniel Cunningham coming home in third. We'll see you next week at Iowa Speedway.
Sir, thank you.
Actually, 2 weeks. I guess we'll announce that. It's 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, whenever it is. I'll see you at the next one.
All right. Moving on to your second place finisher. I mean, that was news to me, Morgan. I guess officially we're off next week here for the Overtake iRacing League. That's across all 3 series because of was it Memorial Day on Monday. So we'll keep you guys posted, but no racing here for the Overtake iRacing League because the Truck Series falls on a Monday, and then we will have Tuesday and Wednesday off on those series, but we will have BTDY and QSR on Tuesday. So still racing here on V Speed. So make sure you check that out. We are going to bring up our second place finisher though. That is Christopher McCullough in the 04. Christopher, you and Peyton Hubbard were pretty much the class of the field tonight. You guys battled for stage points. You battled for race win. You battled for laps led. I mean, it was just back and forth between the 04 and the 51. What changed there after those green flag pit stops maybe that just put that 04 back to second?
Yeah, I think it had a lot to do. First of all, I want to say that was some great racing with Peyton. We raced really hard, had some contact, but man, it was super fun to race clean and hard there. But I think he pit a lap earlier than me, gained a little time, and I was a little conservative on entry because I just didn't want to make a mistake. First race of the round, I just wanted to maximize my points. I figured I'd be able to catch him and pass him, but once he got that position, I made a mistake by going to the top a little too soon, and I just cooked my tires up there.
Yeah, it looked like anybody that went up there on that outside was bad fast, but it would kind of burn up the right side tires. And overall, I think the bottom came back to you guys in the first stint of this race, in the first stage. It looked like the outside was the place to be. Did the track change accordingly? I mean, was it just like lap 30, suddenly the bottom was faster?
To be honest, I only went to the top one time, and that was to pass Peyton in the first stage. And I passed him on the high line, then a caution immediately came out, and then I just stayed on the bottom the whole time. If the top was really fast, but you just cooked your tires to where the bottom, if you just hung the bottom, I mean, they could race you or whatnot, but they couldn't pass. And if you could just maintain the lead, then they would just fall off. Lucas was really fast in that stage, catching me, racing me for the stage, but his tires fell off and he just dropped like a rock there. I learned something last year here about running this bottom, and I just got killed running the top. So it was a good race. The bottom was definitely the way to go for saving tires, but the top was definitely quick. You just only had a couple laps to use it.
So there you go, Christopher. I know that tonight probably not the outcome you thought you were going to have, especially after taking the lead there on that first stage in their race. But You come out here in second spot. You maximized your points. That's essentially what you wanted to do. You got your lap lead, you got the stage victory. The only thing that was left was to get that race win. But tonight, I think you're sitting good. Anybody that you want to thank for tonight's performance?
Yeah, this McCullough Motorsports Chevrolet Silverado was quick tonight. I got to thank my teammates for pumping me up. I've been feeling a little under the weather today, and I didn't have much confidence coming in, but they dealt with my whiny nagging and helped cheer me up. But yeah, I got to thank all my friends and family that tune in and watch this. I really appreciate the support, and I got to thank these drivers. It's fun to race hard side by side with these guys, and not wreck and just come home happy. And also thank you for broadcasting. I really enjoy tuning into these races.
We appreciate that. And Chris, good luck there next week at Iowa. Well, actually, 2 weeks. I already made the mistake again. We'll be here 2 weeks from today at Iowa Speedway. Good luck, man.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have a good night.
So there he is, second place finisher of the night, Christopher McCullough in the 0-4. Finally, that brings us to our victor. Morgan Cook is down in V Speed victory lane.
And then there was one. Peyton, Morgan Bradley up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you went out there and you hung one on him for sure. You had a great last pit stop, last run, able to cycle out ahead of the 04 was your biggest competition tonight, and you never really looked back, even though there was a little bit of door banging through 3 and 4. Why don't you just tell me, how did you get the lead, and then what did you have to do to keep it?
Well, I'd like to first off thank the team. We ran this race, for the championship last season, and they all worked me. So they were able to help me a little bit with line choice and how to run here, and it really helped me. So on the last stop, we decided I was going to split it in half. So it ended up working out. I think if I would have waited another lap, he probably would have came out in front of me. So I just happened to get the lap time right, and got in there and got out. First pit stall helped a lot.
Yeah, it certainly did. Winning the pole always a good bonus to have on a mile and a half like this. You mentioned lane choice a little bit. Why don't you tell the viewers at home kind of what the difference was between running the top, middle, and bottom, and where you wanted that truck to be?
Well, if you run the top too early, it's kind of like how it is a lot of tracks that are like this multi-groove. If you're on the top too early, you're never going to be able to get back to the bottom and actually stay at the bottom. So it's just um, running the bottom as long as I needed to, and I never really had to go up. I was thinking maybe at some point I'd have to go up a little bit to maybe take that line away, but I think after that last little bit of me and Chris racing each other pretty hard, he burned it up a little bit, and I was able just to keep running the bottom, bottom every corner. Just save your tire, and it's just more consistent, especially when if you get into the wall too tight, you get too tight up top, you hit the wall. It just kind of takes all those errors away.
Right, I had mentioned that I think throughout the broadcast. Another thing that we saw a few times was drivers blocking all the way down to the white line, either on the front or the backstretch. How hard is it to defend that if you're the guy blocking, and how easy is it to get into the back of somebody if you're the guy being blocked?
Well, when Chris would get the run and he would go to the bottom, I didn't want to hold him. Like I wanted to give him at least a truck width on the bottom, so I'd keep him in the middle because I knew he'd been running a little bit higher, and I was thinking hopefully he wouldn't be able to hold the bottom, like we've been doing, especially with that entry. So I would just hold him down there, and I'd get a truck length ahead, and then that just kind of would go back and forth, and I think eventually it just got to the point to where he was, couldn't stay down there, but defending it just, I guess, because I've been doing it all race, it was easier just to stay maybe a truck or two high and back up the entry a little bit and just hold him to the bottom and hope he doesn't wash up and we both wreck.
Right. So anyone you want to shout out or thank for this big win here at Homestead?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, again, the whole Bandits team. Daniel, Sean, Barrett, Lucas, all those guys who were racing tonight. They helped me a lot. That's one thing about this team. We like to be as strong as we are, but it's all because we help each other a lot, especially when it comes to like this. And this time it showed. I don't do this well at mile and a half a lot. It's usually the short tracks and road courses. So to get a win like this at a mile and a half, especially somewhere like Homestead, I got to give thanks to them and SM Racing, Sim Shop, Cofield, all those guys.
Right on. Well, congratulations once again. Your winner at Homestead, Peyton Hubbard.
So tonight, 1.5 miles had never been so adaptable. And I mean, the track changed. You could see it left and right. These guys were running the high line, the low line. I learned a lot. I am excited. I will be on the track here tomorrow night. So I hope that I can carry some of that knowledge that Peyton and Christopher, even Daniel, dropped on us here. And just watching these guys go around this place, it really does change your mindset about this oval revamp and how the schedule here on your screen will go. Because Iowa, Texas, also multi-groove racing. Some of these guys that maybe struggle with the discipline of running a line that saves your tires versus the line that is faster will definitely come into play for the next 2 weeks, and then ultimately all leading up to Charlotte here for the final race and the final four of the season. But for everybody here at the Overtake iRacing League, Alex Healy, Cody Anderson, I know there's other names, Alex Penn, there's quite a few of them. I think David Farmer is another name I need to throw out there. Everybody at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Christian Hill, Logan Threlkeld. I had our other producer, Morgan Cook, co-commentary up here tonight in the booth. This is Bradley Cooper telling you guys to have a great rest of your week. We will see you tomorrow night. We are quadruple booked here on V-Speed. Plenty of racing left to do in all these seasons through the summer. Hope you guys can be a part of it here. We'll start it out at 8 p.m. with QSR. Until then, everybody, have a good time. We'll see you next time here on V-Speed.